Hi guys, welcome to tonight's flight here on the channel, as we are going to be doing a flight to Aspen, and we're down here in Denver, down on the east side, ready to make a trip down there today. As you see, it's quite windy and there's been quite some big winds going about, so we are going to be leaving 34 left and we're coming for the arrival for 15, coming in with the localized DME. So we've got no vertical guidance, we'll just be using the localizer for our lineup, and we'll use the vertical speed, which is around 1600 feet, so 1600 feet descent. Obviously this aircraft wouldn't go down in there, the CRJs, but I thought that we'd take the 737 and see what she's like. We use flaps 40 for the first time in a while, so don't forget to like and subscribe guys, leave comments down below. And now we'll get inside the cockpit and start the aircraft up. Okay, so we're in the 737-800 now, so we'll go overhead and we'll put our battery on and guarded, standby power is guarded and ground power is on. We'll go to our bat and ground power. After that we'll arm the emergency lights, we'll put our chimes on with the fastened seat belts. We'll go overhead, we'll get our window heats on, we'll put on the trim out with the packs, and we'll get everything all set up there as we get everything all good to go. So we'll put on our main panel lights, we'll get everything all set. All main panel lights will go over to our center console, we'll get the panel lights over on for here, which is all good. We can get our yoke in, we'll go over into the FMC, we'll align the IRSs as well, which are set. We can check the flaps as well, there we go. Mac airspeed warning, which is set. Go over to our center console now. Can do the overheats. Okay, which have come on. Okay, which are all good. To cargo test. Which is set. And everything else down here is all good to go. So we're going to our positioning. We've got Kilo Delta Echo November. Get that from the left GPS. There we go. So once we go in, we get the IRSs aligned, they'll come through, which is done. So as we leave out now today, we're going to be coming in for Kilo Alpha Sierra Echo, which is Aspen. On our departure, we're taking the Connor Romeo 7, and we are transitioning our Wayne arrival. We're going to be coming down on the localizer DME, where Ajax is going to be the start of our arrival. So from Zakur, we're coming down on the localizer DME. Put a glysope on, we're going in for Ajax transitioning, let the route in, and we'll go to our perf now. So 68 tons, zero fuel is 60, got reserves of 2, cost index on our flight plan, we are looking at a cost index of 20. Okay, so we're going to go for 260, we can activate that up, we'll get our ISOs as well. So for 260 we got 329 at 136. Okay, and ISA is a minus 39. Okay, which is all set. Go to our takeoff now. We can take full takeoff and takeoff 1. We'll use takeoff 1 actually and go for full takeoff. On our departure we'll take flaps 5. We've got 142, 143 and a 148 for V2. Okay, 148. Now put on our first officer's panel lights. Can arm the flight directors, and we can see now at Denver we are going to be coming out at 34 left, which is the 353. Okay, which is set. Okay, which is set. Going on to the departure route, you can see that we're going to basically come out onto the 353. We'll make a left turn to an intercept at foams for below 10,000 or below, and then 12,000 above at Tavern, all the way as we climb up to Wayner, which will be for 18,000 roundabouts. So everything's all set on that front. We'll get our ASUS as well. So we'll put in Kilo Delta Echo November. Get that in, send it off. Thought we'd use the old school Delta livery, as it's still a really nice livery to use. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Help us get to that 2K subscriber goal. Appreciate all the support that you guys have shown over the recent months. Now put on one pump and we can get the APU all started up, ready to go. Your damper can go on. Going to leave everything else. We'll get the electrics on as well and put the APU bleed on. That should be all good for us there. There's the ATIS now. So on our QNH, it's 3012, which is set. Got overhead of 26,000 and landing elevation down in Aspen is 783. Okay, so I'll put it at 77850, which is fine. Now we can see EGT is starting to decrease now for the APU as it's starting up. So we can expect our APU gen lights to come on, and we can switch over the bus to APU gen. So here they come. Switch them over, go to the APU gen, swing that on to standby now, and we'll get a position light ready. We can turn on all of our pumps. Anti-collision can go on as well, as we are going to get ready to leave. So that's us pretty much all set on the let's go into our takeoff. We'll get back to that in just a sec. So, got 330 at 19. Okay, the speeds will probably still be the same, 4.2, 4.3 and 4.8. Cost index is going to be 28.3. 475 on the trim. Okay, we'll leave it about there. We don't want to be popping any wheelies. Okay, so everything is all set. We are leaving runway 34 left. So let's get everything all set up and ready to go. So we go to farms and we get to Zaku. We've then got Ajax, and then we'll come all the way down. All set to come in. Now we've got the localizer DME. Ajax. So what we can do now is we can call the tug and get ready to push back. Okay, so tugs are now driving up. Doors are now closed and locked. Any collisions are on. And we are all set to go, so we'll turn our probe heats now. As the tug's here ready to push us back. Just going to check the ATIS one more time.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, so she's ready to connect. So tags are now lifting us up as we get ready to push back, so whilst we do wait for that, we can now slip our packs off.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, releasing the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, thank you very much. So, we're ready now to start our engines. So, what we can do is now, we'll go overhead. Well, our packs are off now. So, we'll go for engine number 1. So what we can do now is engine number 2's come back over, we'll go for engine number 1. See start valves open now, see N2 start to increase, and we'll get the temperatures all ready to go.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Right, so what we'll do now is we'll set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, so they're going to disconnect the tow, so put the packs back on. The isolation valve can go back to auto. We'll switch over the buses, we'll turn off the APU bleed with the APU, which is all set, and we are all good to go. So we have a look at our taxi charts of how we're going to get out. So on our taxi, we can see here that we are going to come out. We'll go straight down, take a left off of Golf, and then go straight into Whiskey Alpha for the Delta hold.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, see you soon, bye bye. Okay, so is ready to go. She's going to leave, so as we are going to now taxi, we can get everything all set. So bring over our controls. Okay, so we'll go full left, full right. We'll do it on our system this time. Can have a look. So we'll go full right, full left, full forwards, full backwards, rudder left, and rudder right, which is all set and good to go. So we're going to go straight ahead pretty much, and then we can taxi on out and get ourselves all ready for our departure out of Denver as we come in for the Aspen localizer DME approach. So we'll release the brakes and we'll start to power it up now. Put the auto brake to RTO, we can arm the auto throttle. LNAV and VNAV can now be engaged, and we are going to go up to 26,000. Okay, which is set. As you can see, we have got some winds as we come out, so we will make full use of that today. So it should be a rocky arrival as we come in. Okay. So the 278 is where we're going to be rocking in for the 248. So you can see the wind's knocking us about just a little as we come down. So we need to go on to Whiskey Alpha. Okay, so we're going to go down to the Whiskey Alpha, where we can just veer off to the left and then come in. So we've got our left turn, which is right there next to us now, which we're going to go up onto. Then we'll turn the left onto Golf. 2 plus 20, which is 168. So we'll make this left and then this right onto Whiskey Alpha. And this will take us straight up to runway 34 left, as we can see. And we'll join on exactly where we are. So we're using XP Realistic as well, so that should be good to see what the turbulence is like. So here we are, coming up to the hold now. And as we can see, we're coming up to the hold off of Delta. So the wind should be pretty dramatic when we come out. Look on our legs, we're all good there. So, cabin crew prepare for departure. So as we start to slow up and go over the hold line, we'll drop our flaps 5 now. And we'll get our runway turn-offs, taxis are on, strobes can go on as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking off in just a few minutes. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure.
The cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Okay, so we'll line up now for runway 34 left. Once we leave out from the 353, we'll intercept foams and then go on to the 248. So we'll line up. Okay, so we'll just hold here as we go overhead now. And we'll turn on our landing lights. Everything else is all on. Strobes are on. We'll put our logo on for the fun of it. So, what we can do now, as you can see the winds are knocking us about already, is we will spool up to 45%. And so go. Okay, here comes the wind, airspeed live.
$80 knots.
Check. Throttle hold.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Okay. So as we leave out now,
400.
check. Landing gear can go up. As we are now going to make that left turn as we go to flaps 1. Flaps can go up now. So we'll stay on that track now as we make our right turn around can see the aircraft's getting very excited.
1,000.
Check. So auto brake can go off there. As we start our send up. It's 250 now. 10,000 feet by the time we get to foams. Passing through 7,000 feet now. Need to stay for foams by 10,000. There's 240. And there's 25. Just lift up just to contain our speed. And there we go. Okay, so what we can do now is we've got the autopilot on. The gear is up and off, no lights, got our flaps up. Auto brake is up. And passing 10,000 feet now, we'll go for our landing lights off. Runway turn-offs, taxis, and our wheel well. Tell the cabin to chill out just for a moment as we get ready to come up. Okay, so we're going to go up to our climb speed / cruise speed, should we say. So active is the climb, 290 is target speed, and now the aircraft will start to ascend up as we climb up. Now head towards Aspen for the localizer DME approach for runway 15. So passing 11,000 feet. Aircraft's nice and stable. Got some winds, 46 knot winds coming from 327 as they come in. And check on the terrain and everything. Just to see. As we pass through 12,008 now. Ready to blast through the clouds. Passing through 15,000 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we climb to our cruising altitude, we'd like to extend a special. We've now reached an altitude where it's safe to use approved electronic devices. And a listing of these devices can be found in Sky Magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, it will be our pleasure to offer you complimentary Coca-Cola products.
Okay, so Q&H's can now be switched over to
water,
standard.
Juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh eats items and all-day goodies. Beer, wine, and spirits are available complimentary for our first class and Delta Comfort Plus passengers, as well as available for purchase for the as well as our fresh eats items can be found in the menus in your seat pocket. Please be reminded that Delta accepts only major credit or debit cards for onboard purchases of beverages and snacks. However, you can use your Delta SkyMiles American Express card to save 15% and earn double miles on all Delta purchases. For your enjoyment, each seat is equipped with your own personal entertainment system. On it, you can view a selection of complimentary as well as on-demand TV shows, movies, and music. You'll find that this screen will work best with just a light tap at your fingertip. Feel free to use your own headsets. Otherwise, if you do need a headset, just let a flight attendant know they are yours complimentary for this and any future Delta flights.
Okay, so climbing up through 20,000 feet. Now Q&H's are back over to standard. Landing lights are up and off. Everything is all set. Turn the seatbelts back on.
Seatbelt sign. Please recheck the security of your seatbelt.
And as we near to our top of climb, we will then start to get ready to come in for the localizer DME. So I'll quickly show you what's going to happen. We're pretty much going to get to Ajax for our initial approach fix as we come down, or we could go from red table. But we'll take Ajax. Then once we come in on the 151, 13,400 feet, we'll then get to Jargo for our initial approach, where we'll then follow the localizer down, and then at 11,700 feet we will then come down our vertical speed, and I'm hoping around about 1638. Touchdown is 7837. Now you can see the aircraft's getting a little bit jittery. So that should bring us in. If we was to have a look now at our approach, it'd be 130, so we're going flaps 40, 143, 147, so we'll probably be coming down even steeper than that. But by that time we would have burned off some fuel, so it should be a little bit lighter by the time that comes. So what we can do now, as we are coming up to 260, and we've just got some turbulence in the vicinity. As we now head back from the 249, as we leave way into the 252, which is set. So what we can do now, guys, is we can go to our take-up cinematics. So don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, as our top of climb is right here, and there's our top of descent, so merely within about 30 miles. So don't forget to like and subscribe, help us get to that 2k subscriber goal, and I'll see you guys when we get back for our top of descent, ready to come into Aspen for the localizer DME approach Echo
1,000 to go.
Runway 15. So I'll see you guys when we get back. Flight deck, as we are now getting ready to come in for the localizer DME approach into runway 15 at Aspen. We're currently at 260. We're now going to go down to our 11,700, which will be the start of our descent down on the VNAV profile, as we're going to use the localizer and the VNAV to come down on the glide path, as we don't have no vertical guidance with this approach. So we're down to 11,700, which we can see our initial approach fix is Ajax 19.1 DME from the localizer, but coming in on the 151. As we come down we can get our speeds now, so we go and get our speeds. We can see we'll be doing flaps 40 at a 137, which is fine. When we get to Doipi at 11,700 feet, that's where we'll go onto the 6.59 degree glide path down, and Sayaj is 4 DME from the localizer, which will be our missed approach point. 7.1 DME is where we'll start the descent down. We've got our minimum set at 10,220, which is 2383, which we have right there, which is set. Auto brake's going to be max. Actually, we can leave all the brakes set number 3. That'll be fine. As we get ready to come down into our top of descent, we can we'll set our courses as we get closer. We've got the localizer in, which is the 111.15, which is armed, ready to get switched over from the VOR of the Delta Bravo Lima, which is the red table, which is on the 113.0. we'll be coming in 13,400 feet, and then we'll descend all the way down past FIMSO at 12,300, where we will then hit 11,700, where we will then get ready to go down. So we've got flaps 40 137, which will be a 137, so we're looking around about 1,600 feet per minute on the glide path, which will be fine. We can arm the speed brakes for when we come down, and we'll go into the descent page and we'll say that we want to come down for 235. Let's check our restrictions. We've got 225 for Ajax, so we'll say we want to come down now for 235, which will be our target on our descent. And we do have the opportunity to descend now if we wish, so we've got 11,007. We'll let the FMC do what it wants to do, as we're only going to descend at around 1,000 feet per minute. So there we go, speed brakes are open now. QNH is a 3020. Got the anti-ice which is on and set. So coming down now to 235 at our speed. We're currently on VNAV path and we're on the LNAV, and then when we get just nearer to the VOR we'll then trigger in the localizer and we'll get the aircraft all configured ready to come in. So now the speed brake can go back in. As the aircraft reconfigures itself. So it's pretty much a straightforward approach. It's going to be coming down for around 1,600 feet per minute, so I don't usually use flaps 40, and with the winds as well I wouldn't really want to, but this is like London City's big brother, so we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Should be all good. Obviously you wouldn't land a 737 there. I've seen the CRJs, SkyWest and the American Eagles. As the descent path for this would be way too much. So we're leaving now flight level 260. As we descend down, we can now put our start switches on to continuous, which is checked. Everything is on, seat belts are on, and we can ding them and tell the cabin that we are getting ready to come down now. As we leave flight level 250, as the throttle mode is on ARM, we can manually move the throttles to compensate as we're coming down practically on an idle descent. But we are we're not so heavy. We're okay. We're okay on the weight. We're around 60 tons, 63 tons. We check now. We are 61 tons. So if we check our progress, you can see we're 51 miles away. Expected time, fuel, and our fuel quantity. So we're expected to have 3 tons of fuel by the time we get down. So we are now all set. As we're passing through flight level 240, we can see now speeds creeping up. So open the speed brake. And we can also tell the aircraft now to descend down to 225 on the speed. Okay. And we'll throttle back. So we're all practically set in. We're coming down on the 251 where we'll inset for the 151, which is our final approach heading. We can now change the courses and put in the 151. Okay, which is set. Go put that over on the first officers. Okay, which is also set. So we are all configured. Speed brakes are currently open as speed comes down. Getting closer to the airport now, as we've just got some clouds to go through. So we'll let speed brake in now as the aircraft continues to come down towards Wayne, 13 miles away. And now what we can do is we'll activate the localizer, so when that does come into view we can see exactly how far away. So we're currently just under around 40 miles to go, 43 miles until we get to the airport, which shouldn't be a problem. Past 18,000 feet, we'll switch the Q&H's back over. So we use the arm as the winds with our weight is slowing us down, as we've got 65 knot wind. So we'll just increase the throttles a little, help the autopilot on its way, as we're not exactly heavy enough with these winds to just fly through. So 225 on the speed. As our current restriction on Wayner is going to be 225. Speed brakes are in their armed position. Passing through 210. And on our descent checklist we can have a look. So we've got air conditioning, pressurization, which will be on our descent. So landing altitude is set, and a pressurization. We've got land altitude 7,700 for the 7680, and that's all set and finalized. After that, anti-ice is on for wing anti-ice, approach briefing and fuel. We've discussed the approach that we're coming down for the localizer DME approach, where we're going to intercept for the 151 for our initial approach fix at Ajax, which is 19.1 DME for the localizer, and we'll start that descent at 13,400 feet on the 151 till we get to 11,700 feet, which is where we will then start our 6.59 degree descent down to the runway at around 1,600 feet per minute. Minimums is also set at 10,220 for a 2383, which is also set, and flaps are 144 137 plus 5 will be a 142. Got our auto brake, which is set to number 3, and we are all configured ready for the approach. Localizers are in. We can see now that the localizer has come up. So to verify, we've got India Alpha Sierra Echo, which is here for the localizer. The 1115, which is India Alpha Sierra Echo, and we're coming down DME. We're 23 DME away. We're going to be using the localizer and VNAV. So open up the speed brakes now. As we just pass Wayner. Passing flight level 190 now. Okay, and we'll let the speed brakes back in as we just tip the clouds, and then we'll brake through underneath, ready for that lovely arrival into Aspen. So full flaps 40 as we pass through 18,500 now. 20 DME and roughly 13 away, so we're practically around 24 and a half DME away from the airport, give or take the stretch that we're going to take to Ajax, which is our initial approach fix. Nice and stable now, coming through 18,300 feet. Currently perfect on our vertical deviation, and we'll wait for the localizer to come into view, and then we're welcomed with that lovely view in front of us, ready for that left turn onto the 151. So as we pass through 18,000 feet now, past the Q&H's back over to 3020, and we now start our descent down. So you can see the vertical deviation started to decrease, aircraft starts to pitch down, and then it will, once it catches the glide path, so we see the numbers decreasing. Once we get back to normal levels, you can see the aircraft now pitching up, so it can capture the right descent profile that's on the constraints for our arrival in. So as we're currently 8.4 DME away, I'm going to open up a flaps 1 and start slowing us down, as we're not going to take the aircraft out of its VNAV profile, as we're just going to stay in that the whole time until we disconnect at 10,300, so we're at least 50 feet above on our minimums. So as we slowly start to slow down, because we don't want the VNAV path to just go completely out of whack, and then we're stung by our speed. So we've got the localizer which is set. We can program that in. We've armed the VOR lock as we slowly now start to descend our altitude through 16,004, ready for that left turn at Ajax, where we decel again, and after Ajax 225 to the 191. So pretty much bang on. And we can change now our heading to the 151, which is set. So slowly decreasing down now. 191 for Ajax. Okay, so now the aircraft will turn onto its final course, and we should intercept the localizer as we come down. So just passing Ajax now, we'll go to flaps 2. Speed brake is armed. Auto brake set at number 3. As we're going to that left turn now, to be finally lined up with the runway, will be fully established and will be fully set up before we take that last 6.59 degree descent down. So we'll have our flaps 40 gear down and everything all configured before we start the ride down into Aspen. So there's the localizer now, switching over. LNAV's been intervened and now the localizer's come into play, so the aircraft will now track the localizer onto the 151 of course. We'll go down to flaps 5 now. As you can see on our restrictions, 178, so flaps 5 is suitable now. As we get ready to descend down, DWEEP is going to be our last one before we start the descent down. So airport's in sight. You can see the wind, it's not very nice at all. So we'll come down to flaps 15 and we'll go gear down so we can get the aircraft all configured in time, ready for our arrival in. So passing 13,009, 11,700 feet is where we will end up on our descent profile. So we'll go down to 10,300, which is going to be our minimums, but we'll be above the minimum altitude, so if we did need to go around, we would be able to do that. So currently holding the 157 now, passing through 13,600 feet, passing Jargu, and if we have a look on our descent, we can see that we are literally right there by Red Table, and there's Jargu 13,400 and then 12,900. So we are right bang on. Aircraft's going to start to slope down some more now. Throttles will idle. Okay, and we'll go to our flaps 25. Okay, ground speed's 130, which is perfect. So we will be able to come down on the 160 or the 1680. And now we'll go down to our flaps 40. Okay, so there's 12,900 feet which the aircraft will hold. We've got the aircraft fully configured now, as we've got 137, and then we've got our +5, so 142. So the aircraft's going to descend down again to 12,300 for FIMSO. Okay, so there comes the aircraft now. So what we'll do is we'll put on our landing lights, we'll put our runway turn-offs, Taxis can go on with the wheel well, and we'll tell the cabin to prepare for landing. Okay. So as we currently start descending now, aircraft's going to be for 12,300, then 11,007, and then we will disconnect before 10,220 feet on the altimeter, and we'll run it down visually. So we've got auto brake set at number 3, we've got flaps at flaps 40, we've got our landing gear which is down 3 green. We are ready to hold, ready for DOIP for the 11,700 feet. So the aircraft's now going to start to descend down to 11,700, and then we'll start our wicked descent down. Ground speed's 119. So coming down now through 11,007. Aircraft's all set, so auto brake number 3 as we said, we've got our flaps 40, gears down, we've got our minimum set, and we are fully established, so ready to start our descent down into Aspen. So VNAV path will now kick in once we pass in the 0.5 nautical miles from DOIP. We will then go down onto that 1600 feet descent profile. As we're around 120, we will go down on 1400 feet per minute. Okay, so here we go. Aircraft should now go down. If it doesn't want to, we can help it. So we'll disconnect the autopilot, and we'll disconnect the auto throttle, and we'll throttle back, and we'll fly the aircraft in visually now. So around 1400 feet. We'll try not to go above 2000. So we can bleed off some altitude by killing some speed. If we drop our speed down, we can get more decel on our altitude as we come down. So flying it visually now, around 1700 feet. Flying the aircraft manually, so we can catch the puppies early. Still following down on the 151. There's our minimums. Coming down 1800 feet per minute. Continue. Keeping it nice and stable as we come round. Okay, so we should see the puppies come at any moment. There's one. There's two. Okay, so we've got the puppies established now. Okay, so we have got a little bit of wind. Just lift up a little. Okay, so you can see the wind just knocking us about a little. Okay, speed brakes are up and reversers are active. Check. Throttles reverse. And manual braking. And And there we are guys, down in Aspen for the flight of the evening. So we'll get ready to taxi off onto Alpha now, and then we'll backtrack up onto the gate. And then we'll go to our landing cinematics and get the show on the road. So we can lock in our speed brake and we can get in our flaps as we now get ready to exit the runway. So as the flaps retract, speed brake's in. As we cross the hold line, we'll then get our strobes and everything all set to come. So just line back over. There we go. So we'll get everything all set and configured. So we'll put our strobes to steady, wheel can go off, runway turn-offs can go off with our runways. Taxis can stay on, engine start switches we'll leave them off for now, and we'll go ahead and start the APU. Okay, APU's starting, and we'll cross over the line now and go and taxi to the gate. And there we are guys, we can turn our auto brake off now, and we'll go taxi to the gate. So now it's time for our landing cinematics, so don't forget to like and subscribe, help us get to that 2k subscriber goal. And now it's time to enjoy the lovely arrival down into Aspen. So enjoy guys, and I'll see you when we get back for our taxi to the gate.